and welcome to Big Bang Radio Spotlights. This is a show we talk to independent artists from all around the world all about their music and their process for making it. I'm your host, Isaac Anderson, and today I get to sit down with the group The Happy Fits. Without any further ado, here's the interview. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We really do appreciate it. I know right now we're in Cat's Cradle. You guys are about to go play an awesome show to a house full of people. And what do you guys think about that? How you feeling today?
It's going to be awesome. We've never played in Carrboro before, so it's a first for us. And yeah, it's our first time bringing lights to North Carolina.
Yeah, I mean, every time we've been here, it's been most of the time playing for us and the other bands that we're playing. So it's really an incredible feeling to have fans come back out and then that many more. We're so excited.
Yeah, this is also, we had a little rough patch on this tour of illness and stuff, but we're all finally back and healthy. So this is just a precaution, but we're really excited to start playing a show again. It felt really weird to be on tour, but without like a whole week without a show,
Yeah. Yes.
I want to start at the beginning of each of your musical journeys, just like we do with all the other artists that we talk to on the show. So the first question, kind of like out of the preliminary ones, I want to ask you is, what is each of your earliest musical memories?
I saw Elton John on July 4th in Philadelphia. It was like a free concert in the park, and that was probably my first musical memory.
I have two prominent ones. My dad showed me Good Times, Bad Times by Led Zeppelin. I was like, this is really cool. I never really thought about drums, but then I heard that song and I was like, whoa, drums are super cool. And then actually my sister showed me Fat Lip by Sum 41. I was like, oh, this is I really like this. And so, yeah, those were my two early memories of being like, maybe I do want to pursue this and do this. But yeah.
I remember crying because I found out my parents were going to a concert and they didn't get me a ticket. And I was like, I know it sounds, yeah, but I just really, really wanted to go see a live show. I was like 10 maybe. I don't think I was even allowed to go to the show. I think it was probably like 18 and up or something, but I just remember being devastated that I couldn't go to a live concert, and I knew that they were going. But then they made it up to me, and they bought my first concert ever was seeing it was Nickelback were headlining, and then Seether were direct support, and Saving Abel were opening, which was very much my music taste when I was younger.
Okay. How do you feel about that now, though?
It's not my cup of tea anymore, but I think Nickelback. Well, I love Seether. Saving Abel I didn't really get into as much, but Nickelback. They have some amazing songs. I think I don't know why they got so much hate. We revisited it and we were like, it still hits,
You guys have been a band for quite some time, but after doing some research on you, it was really interesting. You guys said you were never really meant to be a band. You guys were just friends that happened to play music together. Your music blew up. How exactly was that conversation with each other, with your friends and family, when you decided to kind of just put everything into the Happy Fits?
Yeah, so we all went to the same high school. We went to North Hunterdon High School, and I'm a grade above them, so I didn't really know Ross or Calvin. I just knew Ross's brother really well, and they had known each other kind of like almost acquaintances in the beginning, and then their senior year, they started writing some music, and they just wanted to make music for their friends. And so when they were recording the EP, they needed drums as well. And that's when Ross asked if his brother knew any drummers. And I jumped in and recorded some songs. And it was that was really fun. And then we kind of went on our own paths. Yeah. And we went away. And then for 2 months. And then, yeah, we ended up getting on Spotify Fresh Finds. And it became a really big thing for us. And then it was hey, maybe we should do this full time, go for it. My parents were very supportive. They were like, we're already paying for you to go to music school, so why not try and go do the real thing? But yeah.
My dad was actually the one that convinced me to drop out because I was unsure, and my dad was basically just you can, if it doesn't work out, you can always go back to college. It's not, but he's like, this is going to be your only chance to do this if you want to go for it. So right then and there, after that call, I walked to whatever the student center is, and I told them I was leaving, and that was it. I went to my counselor. Yeah.
And Calvin, you were actually conservatory at the time.
Yeah.
That must have been a whole thing.
I was going to a really cool school called the Robert McDuffie Center for Strings. It's a small program. There's only 24 kids there. So me leaving halfway through the year would have been pretty bad for them. So I stayed the whole year. And everyone was super supportive about it, which was really, really nice. Like, the whole point of the 4-year program is get you ready for the music business and get you ready to be a classical musician in the real world. So it was really awesome that all these classical musicians were so supportive of me leaving to do rock music. It meant a lot to me.
Little one, we're alone on the face of the earth. We're just floating in space with the millions like us here. You belong. There you go again, talk below. Helter skelter politic. Hide under the shade of green. I can be a Kardashian. I could see the world with you.
Something that really impressed me was just your sense of fun and your sense of just general passion for your art. If anybody has ever seen a photo of you guys after the show, you got the peace sign up, you guys are just covered in sweat.
Yeah.
People are out of their minds.
Yeah.
Obviously your music strikes a chord with so many people, and I'm just curious, when you guys get in a room and start writing these songs, how exactly does that work for you? Like Calvin, do you bring stuff to these guys? Do you guys jam together? I don't know, how does that work?
Yeah, so a lot of it was our second album, What Could Be Better. We wrote that after playing a ton of like house shows. So we knew fast and loud is what got the crowd to like get off their feet. With the newest album, it was more, we had 6 months to record it. And we had a lot of time to just sit down and vibe out to the tracks. So that's kind of why the newest album is a little bit chiller than What Could Be Better. But the process usually is like, we'll come up with a really catchy melody and then we'll find the chords for it and, you know, bring it to the guys, sing it in gibberish for a really long time. And then the lyrics always come last because that's the hardest. And it's always just asking ourselves what the music is telling us to sing.
Another thing that was really awesome about you guys is your marketing and just your branding as a whole. And I know as musicians, that's not necessarily the coolest thing to talk about, but the stuff you do is super cool. And what really struck me is the fruit. I don't know if you've ever covered the fruit, but it's obviously a thing. Is there a story behind this fruit, or do you guys just think it was cool? Like, was this like an inside joke? I don't know, what is it?
It honestly, like the EP, Awfully Appealing, was just like a stupid pun because it was just for our friends. And then with our first album, I just had the image of an orange plugged into an amp and thought that was like a cool image. And after we did that, it kind of cemented us as the Fruit Band. So with our second and third albums, we definitely put a lot more thought into what the fruit actually could mean or all the different meanings we could hide in the artwork. Yeah.
Calvin, you and I were talking a little bit beforehand because I think we're both into kind of the similar world with video, and you directed some of your the music videos and everything, right?
Yeah. It's been a big challenge of mine. Our old tour manager, Tyler Miranda, he got me really into music videos and the visual aspect of what a musician could be. It wasn't really something that I thought of before I met him. But yeah, I look up to like Childish Gambino. His music videos are incredible. Tyler, the creator, like they make such incredible art, and you know, that's what I aspire to be. So I got a lot to learn, but yeah, one day.
No, they're so awesome. They're so much fun. And how exactly do you approach when you step into the director's chair, besides like being in the band and everything? Because that's a lot to balance for you to be like the artist and the director. Like, is it the same mind going on? Is it like two different minds? How does that work for you?
It's you could ask the guys. It's absolute mayhem. I have not figured out a good system yet, but yeah, we're always shooting to like the very last minute, or like in the lobby video, we shot until like 4 a.m.
That was an 18-hour day shooting in the lobby video.
And we had like 12 crew that just like were staying overtime, but everyone was super pumped on how the footage was looking, so we all stayed. So my good buddy Chris Pacey, he directed that, and then I was one of his. We co-produced it together. It's a lot of fun. It's really hard to not want to be like, ooh, what if we did this? Because you're on such a tight schedule. But yeah, it's funny once you get on the set, you start getting way more ideas that you want to do. So it's a lot about just like containing it and like sticking to the plan.
Speaking about sticking to the plan, I want to talk about your new album right now, Under the Shade of Green.
Hell yeah.
There were some new emotions that popped up in there. There were some new themes. There were some new feelings I haven't felt in one of your albums before, and it was such an awesome feeling because you make awesome music, and just seeing like you guys progress in that way and like take me on that journey was really, really special. When I say Under the Shade of Green and show you that album, what comes to your mind? What do you take out of that?
Biggest thing I think that was going through my mind when writing it and designing it was like climate change is such a major issue right now. And I feel like a lot of kids our age and Gen Z, it feels like we're not taking enough action or we're not acting fast enough. And, you know, we saw the wildfires last year. We saw how many millions of people were displaced from like the flooding in Pakistan. And it's, you know, the droughts in China this year were absolutely insane, just like drying up entire rivers that have been around for millions of years. And it's kind of sad to see how, you know, our leaders right now aren't really doing enough. Instead, you know, they're kind of bought out by lobbyists, and that's where the money aspect of the album comes in. So the idea of being under the shade of green is that those with privilege and power, they're the ones that are going to be protected from climate change and have the resources to get out. But everyone else, like us and like our generation, we're going to be the ones that have to figure out how to live with this new climate that we're going into.
Heard that. Well, what do you guys take out of that?
Yeah, I think it's important that, you know, our past two albums were very self-reflective on like the growing pains of life. And a lot of it was self-reflection. And this third album, we had a lot more time to record and also think about because of the pandemic. And so it became not an, you know, more of a self-reflection. It was kind of what was going on in the world. And we're lucky enough to already have this platform and support that we can, that I think it's important that we not only write what we're going through, but like what's going on in the world. And it seems like people also related a lot to that as well. So I think that was really important for us, was to not make it about, you know, a little heartbreak here and there. There's much more serious things going on that I think are important to be brought up.
We try to like mask the meaning behind the music, you know, like we want the music to be fun and upbeat, and then it's fun to like, you know, make the lyrics a bit darker or like about an important topic or something. But so it's like we have that option. Like if people don't want to dive into the lyrics, that's fine. They can just enjoy the music. But if they really want to, then they can see what I guess we were writing about. Yeah.
Heard that. Well, the album's out right now for people to listen to on streaming. It's available on your website. And if people want to keep up with you guys, how can they find you online?
Everything is at The Happy Fits, one word, no caps.
No caps.
No
Or
caps.
caps. Everything.
Or caps.
Well, guys, thank you so much for taking the time. We really appreciate it. But
Thank
before you
you.
go, I got one more question. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen a Big Bang Radio spotlight before, but I'm a musician, but I also love film. And I believe those two worlds are not too far away from each other, and musicians like us have a soft spot for it. I know you definitely do, and I know we mentioned movies before. So to each of you, before you go, what is your favorite movie?
1917 is a visual masterpiece. Movie just like had brought me to tears. It made me feel everything. Yeah. Oh wait, sorry. Second close one is Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's hard to choose.
I love Fantastic Mr. Fox. It's just a feel-good movie, and Wes Anderson really just made a beautiful piece with that one.
There's a movie called In Bruges. That's probably one of my favorites. And then Spaceballs. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It's in my opinion, it's the best parody movie of all time. But I've seen that movie more than any other movie in my life. I love Spaceballs.
Thanks to the Happy Fits for sitting down with us and talking all about their music. If you guys want to see more interviews just like this, you can find us online at Studio 67 NCC. Thank you all for watching. I'm Isaac Anderson, and until next time, stay lovely.